In this episode, I will... God damn it. Get out of here, dogs. In this episode, I will be covering how to locate a... Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! No! Get out! In this video, I'll be demonstrating the initial step of dumpster diving, which is locating a potential dumpster for diving into. And this technique will vary according to your location. Me personally, I'm in a small town, so there's really only one main drag, and we'll just be covering the main drag today. But in a larger town, you're going to have to first isolate a zone of potential diving capabilities. I would not recommend diving in like a commercial zone, or where there's a bunch of stores, outlet strips, and malls and things like that, because those zones are really high risk zones. There's always going to be more people at those places, and there's always going to be more possibility of getting busted by the police, which nobody wants to do. So my targets have always been industrial and rural targets. That like small towns are the best, most favorable for dumpster diving, because there's less risk that the police are just going to be driving around looking to harass somebody, and there's also less chance of somebody who sees you diving in the dumpster is going to pick up their telephone and try to be a responsible citizen and call you in. So first, we're going to just drive through town, and I'm just going to act like I've never been through this town before, and we're just going to be trying to isolate specific places where it would be ideal to dumpster dive, at least to check it out. We're going to do a little bit of scouting, and we'll talk about that as we go. Now, when you're thinking about getting started dumpster diving, you want to ask yourself two questions. One, what kind of items would you be willing to take home? What kind of items could you put to use? What kind of items do you need? Okay, because one of my biggest problems has been just taking everything that has some kind of value and expecting or assuming that I'm going to find some need or use for it in the future, and that has led me astray. I'm here to tell you it has been hard to deal with all the trash that I brought home and get rid of the shit and keep the good stuff. So first of all, just keep in mind, what could you actually put to use? A person who lives in an apartment probably shouldn't be bringing home too many building supplies, a person who doesn't have any animals shouldn't bring home an excess supply of food unless you know people that can eat it and put it to good use, because you're just going to end up with a bunch of crap, and you're going to have to find a way to get it back to the dumpster. And in my case, out here in the rural Oklahoma, you got to pay to go to the dumpster and dump things, so it ended up actually costing me a little bit of money. So, and the second question that you need to ask yourself is where are you going to put this stuff after you pull it out of the dumpster? First of all, just getting it home, transportation. A lot of people don't have a truck where they have a bunch of bed space, or a trailer where they have even more space to pack these items out of the dumpster and bring them to your location of residence. So if you're in a car or something really small, you're gonna want to limit yourself on how much stuff you pull out. I mean, you can put it in the back seat, you can put it in the trunk and stuff like that, but you definitely don't want to end up with a bunch of dumpster crap all over your back seat and stuff like that. So think about that. Actually, a third thing that you're gonna want to think about if you're actually getting ready to dive is what kind of containers are you going to put these things in from the dumpster to transport them to your car. So there are really actually three transportation questions. Me personally, I like using crates. I get these milk crates all the time. Buckets work really good. Bags work good, like if you have mesh bags or plastic bags or something like that. Basically, it's just something that you can bring with you either into the dumpster or to the edge of the dumpster, where you can pile items into and then take them to your car easily. You can get them out of your car at home so you can go through them and whatnot. But you're going to have to figure out some kind of something that you're going to put things in. Sometimes, in a good scenario, the dumpster will have cardboard boxes in it or around it, so that you can just use the cardboard boxes that are there. But that's kind of just a makeshift solution, and you should really think about some kind of permanent containers that you can use for your dumpster diving adventures. Now, for the aspiring dumpster diver to be, I would recommend scouting at least once, maybe 2 or 3 times. Try to do it on a regular basis. If you have a chance, the best way to do it is to scout and find a few dumpsters that you're interested in, and then check them every single day or night on a regular schedule until you see some good stuff. But now for the experienced dumpster diver, scouting and diving may be incorporated into the same night. So you may either drive around during the day and scout something out and then go get it that night, or if you already have a few dumpsters picked out that have been good to you in the past, you may just drive, hit it, check it. If there's something good, grab it, then go to the next one and make like a nightly run or a weekly run of 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how much room you have and how good they are, dumpsters. When I first got started diving, I pretty much just hit every dumpster that wasn't inside of a fence or didn't have people around it as often as I could, until I kind of got a grasp about what I call high value targets and what are just junk. So we're just going to cover, as we go through town, some of the places that you're going to want to pay attention to and how to check them out, and then the places that are just not even worth your time. This is the first stop, which might look appealing to many people. It's a hotel. They've got an easily accessible dumpster with some pallets and some other things sitting around there. But a hotel is a prime example of a place that you probably do not want to dive in, because they've got all kinds of condoms and dirty bed sheets and things like that people have thrown away, and a lot of just trash, pure trash. So I actually don't dive in this dumpster. You can check it out for yourself, but you'll find that hotels generally are not good places to dive unless you're looking at what's going on here, which is there's a roll-off dumpster there, and they're doing renovations in these hotel rooms and throwing out a bunch of construction waste. So I've actually checked in this particular dumpster and dumpsters like it on several occasions, and you can sometimes find things like sinks, toilets, 2x4s, other various things that you might find useful in your own projects. And so if you see this particular scenario, it might be worth your time at least to check it out and see what's going on. But in general, hotels are going to be a negative. Here is a place that's a good example of a business that has a vast amount of a useful resource, which is used and discarded tires. However, with a place like this, which is just a small business, you definitely want to go inside and get a hold of the manager when they're on duty during regular working hours, and just basically appeal to them and give them an honest and genuine reason why you're interested in obtaining this resource. In this instance, I've actually gone in and talked to the manager and explained to them that I'm going to be using these tires for some projects around my land where I'm making tire walls and different garden barriers and stuff like that, and asked them for permission. And in some cases you will get permission, in other cases you won't. But like I said, it's definitely a good idea to talk to the manager and talk to the person in charge and ask them for permission, because these are technically not in a dumpster. So and technically it's probably illegal for them to give them to you. They need to dispose of them properly. But you definitely want to ask and make sure that it's okay, and if half the time you'll get an okay and they'll let you take them. Here is a big box store that deals in outdoor hardware, tractor supply, farm and garden kind of stuff. It's similar to Atwood's and other stores of the same caliber. I've actually had really good luck dumpster diving at this particular store, but generally I would not recommend doing any dumpster diving at a place like this until after they're closed, and that goes for all stores. You definitely, ideally want to be doing it under the cover of darkness, be in and out as quick as possible. You don't want any chance of people noticing you, especially employees that are taking trash out to the dumpster, which you can never predict when they're going to be doing that. And there might be people working around the dumpster area if there's a loading dock or something like that. And sometimes you can get confronted by employees, and you don't want to raise any suspicions. You don't want them to increase their security measures. You don't want them to basically make it harder or more illegal for you to be dumpster diving on their premises. So you want to kind of stay out of the public eye, that's for sure. but for the sake of this video, we're gonna go ahead and scoot back here and just show you what I'm talking about. We're gonna do a quick scout and just kind of look in the dumpster and see if there's anything of value. Now, I'm coming around this corner really slow, just in case there's anybody back here. I don't wanna ruffle any feathers. Doesn't look like anyone's back here today, and there's no fence around the dumpster, so I'm just gonna quickly peek in and see if there's anything that I might wanna come back for. Looking in here, it doesn't look like it. It looks like mostly legitimate trash. Just gonna take a look here on the other side. And without digging through it, I would say that there's probably nothing of value in there. If there is, it might be buried underneath all that trash, but it's definitely not something you want to mess around with and make a bunch of noise and attract attention to yourself right now during business hours. So I'm going to check this off of my list of places that I would want to come to tonight and actually dive into the dumpster. Now, here is a place that I have found to be another high value target. It's right on the highway though, so you definitely want to be careful scouting it out. This is a commercial flooring and tile supply store, and they've got a huge roll-off dumpster back here. It's not in a fence, and the only sign that's there says no dumping. It doesn't say no dumpster diving, doesn't say don't jump in here. But I have found that these kind of flooring wholesale supply places often throw away miscuts of carpet, half rolls sometimes. Sometimes they throw away boxes of tile. Sometimes they throw away boxes of wood planking and other types of different flooring. So, I mean, it may be hard to get enough to do a large area, but if you're just working in a small area like a tiny house or an RV or just one room, it's very possible that you'd be able to find the necessary floor coating materials as far as carpet or tile or wood planking, but just not the hardware. I've never seen them throw away like hardware like staples and nails and mortar and things like that. But if finding carpet insulation and finding carpet is very easy, and finding tiles is very easy, and you just have to end up putting them together as a mosaic and using several different types of tiles in most situations. But I would definitely recommend hitting up your small hometown wholesale suppliers of any construction goods. Now, here is a big name, big chain supplier of like food, groceries, and miscellaneous. It's Dollar General. I've been here several times, and the dumpster does have a partial fence around it, and they are a big chain, so it's definitely something you want to be careful about. Me personally, I've never found anything good at a Dollar General, and I've looked on multiple occasions. They must resell their stuff to smaller distributors and different people who sell resale products. But for my dumpster diving tastes, my dumpster diving palate, this is not a good place. This here is a strip mall with a liquor store, an appliance store, a home decor store, a store that sells dented and damaged cans and food and things like that, and three restaurants and a bar. Okay, out of all of these places, the bars I never have dived in. I wouldn't trust the trash in a bar to save my life. A restaurant, I generally do not dive at restaurants because most, if not all, of the food that they throw out has already been cooked. A lot of it has meat in it. You can't separate the meat from the vegetables, and so it's probably not a safe situation for consumption for yourself. Now, you might dive at a restaurant for like your animals or something like that, or if you get lucky, you might find some food that's pretty fresh, like if somebody throws out at the end of the day, like a salad bar or something like that. The food resale place that sells packaged goods, I have had great luck with, and the appliance store, it's a small appliance store. It's not a big box chain, so I've never found anything there. The liquor store, it's another small business that's, you know, owned by a small little guy, hometown guy, and so there's never anything good there either. But just to get an idea for your own sakes, you never know what you're gonna find. I mean, somebody might be doing remodeling inside and throw out some good valuable construction equipment, or there could be a random deal where they throw out like a whole crap ton of uncooked food or something like that. Just drive along through here and see, this place has a bunch of cars behind it, so I probably wouldn't check that dumpster right now. But you know, a little later in the day under the cover of darkness, you might check that out. There's a granite slab, that's pretty nice, but it's not actually in the dumpster, so somebody might be trying to save that. I try to stray away from the things that are just sitting out behind a store and not in the dumpster, because a lot of people have plans for those things and you don't want to be accused of stealing something. Now this place right here is the food place that sells like groceries and things like that, and I have had good luck. I haven't checked this place today, but we'll just go ahead and take a look in here. Stop the truck real quick, take a peek. Okay, looks like mostly trash today, but there could be like a bag of dog food down there. There's definitely a pallet or a little crate worth of soda cans. Up here there's just a bunch of crap, but like there's boxes of Wheat Thins. Looks like could be some other things in there. There's another dumpster that you want to dig through, but see, there's a whole big old crate worth of soda cans and a box of cake mix that hasn't been used. Now, you know, it depends on your personal situation, but here, there's a stuffed animal. If what you see in the dumpster, it would be valuable to you and you'd be able to put it to use, just go ahead and make a mental check or a physical check on a list and say, okay, well, this would be a good place. It'd be worth my time to come back to tonight when it's safe to dumpster dive and grab those items. So there's actually a potential target right there. Not a high value target, but it'd be something that'd be worth looking into if you need a little bit of food or you need a little bit of, you know, whatever could be in there. We're taking an alley right now, right behind the main strip here in Grove. And right here we have an apartment building which has a dumpster. And this is another example of locations that I typically, as a rule, stay away from. You never know who's shooting up heroin in there with dirty, rusty needles. You never know who's throwing away something that their grandma died on and decomposed. I mean, there's food, there's dog shit, there's everything mixed in with this trash. I have checked this dumpster a few times, and you generally just see appliances that are broken or like things that people throw away after they move out. And sometimes those items can be good and useful. But generally, as a rule, I stay away from residential trash because you never know what people are throwing away, and it could be really fucking gross. Okay, now here in the same alley we have a few dumpsters. One is for a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and another one is for a thrift store. And thrift stores are gold mines as far as dumpsters go because they get donations of a shit ton of items. They can't always sell it, so they end up throwing away a bunch of stuff to keep their stock new and to use up the maximum amount of floor space that they have. So this dumpster right here is the thrift store dumpster, and as you can see, it is just full of pants, full of clothes. Sometimes there's appliances in here. You never know what you're going to get. People donate all kinds of stuff. So this is actually a good dumpster, and because this place is closed, I'm going to pick out a few pairs of pants. Okay, I actually got like 3 pairs of jeans and a couple pairs of slacks and a pair of boxers out of that deal. So that's just kind of an example of what you would do if you were already experienced and you're quick, is just kind of skim off the top and maybe take some of the stuff that's sitting right up there and really close and easy to grab, stuff it in your truck or your vehicle, and bail out. I mean, I'm not gonna personally go back to that place, but if I did need some clothes, I would definitely hit that place back up tonight and go under the cover of darkness and actually hop into the dumpster, use a little flashlight, and pull out as much clothes as I needed and call it good. One of the last potential types of dumpsters is what you call a construction dumpster. And that's when a place is totally shut down, or sometimes they stay open and just renovate a small section, but especially new work construction where they're actually building a building from the ground up and not remodeling an old building. Those dumpsters can be quite advantageous, but oftentimes they have security on site and there's a lot of people watching because some people leave their tools on the job site and stuff like that. So those new construction dumpsters are kind of a high risk, but these renovation dumpsters, when they're taking and remodeling an existing structure, and they typically throw out a lot of stuff that they're ripping out, you know, whether they're changing the floor plan or just you know, renovating something that's damaged or something for a new style. They often rip out a lot of old material, and some of that stuff can be good for reuse, depending on your particular application. Renovation dumpsters are a lot safer than new work dumpsters because they're typically on smaller places, and like this particular place doesn't have any on-site security or anything, but it's right in a neighborhood, and so you would definitely want to scout it out during the day and see if there's anything in there that you want, know where it's at, and then when you come back that night, move quick, extract what you want, put it in your truck, and leave. Don't fool around digging through the rest of it, because especially in like a residential area like this, or like a commercial district or something where people are, you know, there's going to be a lot of people moving. There's always people driving up and down the street, and there's always people going about their business, and you do not want those people to call the cops on you and get you busted, you know, because technically if you get caught taking stuff out of a dumpster, it could be larceny. Which, depending on the value of the items that you took out of the dumpster, it could be grand larceny, which is a felony, and you could get trespassing charges and all kinds of other shit thrown on top of that. So you don't even want to fool around with that. But if you have the chance on a construction dumpster, you want to stop by during the day and talk to the foreman or the contractor that's working at that location, and ask them if it's okay that you came by and got some of the stuff out of the dumpster. So that's my advice, and I hope that it helps you all. For those who are interested in getting started dumpster diving, I hope that this was informative. And for you who are already experienced dumpster divers, just let me know if you think I left anything out.